by Smart.
And there's a pattern. Starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, I agree with you. 4 of their last 5 baskets has been exactly of that variety.
Dennis Schroeder's checked in for Scott. Here's Schroeder.
Substitution for the Hawks. Dennis Schroeder.
He feeds it to Millsap. For those just joining us, fourth quarter here. We're just over 2.5 minutes into it. And that one's good. Schroeder.
With the success they've been having from the three-point line since halftime, I'll bet you that scoreboard starts to look a lot different real soon.
Partner, that's assuming they can continue that hot shooting. But if they do, and especially if they can get a few stops, you have to think they'll make this thing interesting.
The Hawks trail by 18. Outside Millsap. The three-pointer off the mark.
Physically, there's no doubt they've been the stronger team. That plus 10 rebound advantage tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, not to mention what it says on the scoreboard. They're really pushing them around. Straight bully ball.
Nice shot by Smart.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, Greg, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here.
Now here's Schroeder. Picked by Horford. Schroeder passes to Millsap. Gets to the rim for 2 with the D all over him.
Yeah, you're making things far too easy for him when you let him get it that deep.
I echo that. Ditto. I mean, you've got to do your work early to try to keep him out of the post. Fight him a little bit. Keep him away from that spot he wants.
No coverage that time. And the Kings lead by 21.
And he's looking to really stretch this lead out, even with the cushion they have, still letting it fly from long range.
Here's Schroeder. Lays it in without an inch of room around him.
He's one of the best in the league at that. Even with just a tiny sliver, he always seems to find a way to get it up and in.
Now a timeout called by Sacramento.
And Dennis Schroeder has drawn some comparisons to Rajon Rondo. Long arms, very quick and athletic. He's awfully tough to keep in front of you, but he's also a guy that can knock down a mid-range jump shot.
This Dennis Schroeder, in a lot of ways, like a Greg Anthony, very quick, very smart on the floor, but he's a young player, and he says, Clark, that he watched a lot of tape of Tony Parker to see how he got to the basket.
Yeah, and that's a great blueprint, especially when you consider the Hawks run a very similar system to the Spurs.
Some changes for Sacramento. Randall's checked in for McDermott. Then McLemore comes in for Marco Bellinelli. And it's Russell in for Cannon. Now, here is Russell. And stolen by Horford. Fast break here. Here come the Hawks. Here's Millsap. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. And he isn't the biggest body at 6'8", Clark, but Paul Millsap, very effective.
And part of his being underrated and underestimated, I think, is due to that size. But folks are finally starting to come around. That kind of production he's put up will make that happen.
And Millsap, with over a 7-foot wingspan and also just a great nose for the ball. He gets you rebounds, blocks, and he leads all power forwards in steals pretty much every season.
Now here's Schroeder after D'Angelo Russell's miss. The Hawks again can't hit.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
Guys, that's putting it mildly. I mean, they've been absolutely dominant.
And speaking of Millsap's defense, I mean, he can switch out and cover perimeter players as well. His smaller stature gives him that versatility, but then the long wingspan allows him to still bang with the biggies.
It's tipped. It's stolen by Korver. Now here's Schroeder. He's guarded by Russell. Sefolosha. Sacramento grabs the miss. Their biggest lead of the game was 21. Here's McLemore. Horford with the rebound. The Hawks trail by 17. Schroeder with the ball. He's picked up by Russell. Horford with the screen on Russell. Pass to Millsap. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. Julius Randle picks one up.
And Paul Millsap, guys, the only player to lead the NCAA in rebounding 3 straight seasons back in college. A former second-round pick, was kind of slept on, but now clearly making his mark in the NBA. That athlete.
Yeah.
Is there another player out there capable of moves as stunning as that?
A handful at the most. He is an elite company.
You know, he's got that it factor, no doubt about it. He causes excitement just by walking in the building.
And that was Kia bringing you the close-up on the big-time play. Now here's Smart. The feed to Randle. From 11 feet away. And again, it's Sacramento converting. And the Hawks with possession here. 19-point game. Millsap a screen. Here's Schroeder. And once again off the mark by Atlanta. The Kings have gotten exactly 2/3 of their shots to find the bottom of the net here in the fourth. 8 of 12. Randle no good. Atlanta's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. Last season we saw Al Horford rounding back into form. Good to see that after what had been his second season-ending pectoral muscle tear back in late 2013.
Exactly. I mean, the Hawks just had to bide their time while their best player was out. You saw once he returned, though, he makes a big difference for him.
Now, here is Russell. He dishes it to McLemore. Good, and it's Russell picking up the assist. Russell's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. The Hawks trail by 20. Now, here's Schroeder. And Horford wide open. He shoots. Nice teamwork to set up the pick play and make the space for the J.
You know, the defense has got to do a much better job of fighting over those screens.
And, Greg, especially when the ball is in his hands. I mean, come on now. You know he doesn't miss too many open looks like that.
The baseline J. Horford with the rebound. Horford's got his 7th rebound here tonight. Sefolosha kicks to Millsap. And the 3 off target. Kings leading now by 18. McLemore dishes to Smart. Feeds it to McLemore. Six to shoot. And he tries off the glass, but it's no good. And for the Hawks, they're shooting a paltry 33% in the fourth. Not a good showing for this offense. Here's Korver on the money from 12 feet away.
Wow, has he flipped the switch at halftime. Much more effective here in the second half.
Here's Smart. Here's Randle. It's good. With that basket, he's now 5 for 9.
And defensively, guys, they've been unable to shut down the middle.
Yeah, and they're really getting pummeled on points in the paint here.
Schroeder passes to Horford. And good, as it just snugs right down through the net.
Just a positive force right now for these guys. And though his team has fallen a bit short, it's not because of him.
Now a timeout called by Sacramento. After a rookie season in which he really struggled, Dennis Schroeder made big strides last year.
Yeah, I think pretty much dramatic improvements across the board, Kevin. really a most improved candidate for sure. He solidified that reserve unit for the Hawks, in my opinion.
And Schroeder still with room to grow. I mean, he needs to improve his three-point shot and cut down his turnovers. Those are things that often come with time. And he's got time, still very young at this stage of his career.
Some changes for Sacramento. Embiid comes in for Cauley Stein. And it's Kid Gilchrist in for Julius Randle.
They're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
Well, once they recognized the advantage they had inside, it made a lot of sense just to continue to attack that area.
Here's Schroeder. Marcus Smart picking up that last basket. Millsap a screen. From outside the arc, it's rebounded by Kid Gilchrist. Kid Gilchrist has got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
And for Schroeder, not a great outside shooter yet, but he's an attack guard. I mean, blinding speed, very slippery, eel-like. He gets into that lane and can make a defense collapse in a heartbeat. That alone is where his value is right now.
Korver, no luck. And the foul called on Paul Millsap. That'll be his second foul of the game. Sacramento leading by 18. Embiid with a screen on Korver. And here's Russell. From deep. Rebound by the Hawks. Horford's got 9 rebounds in the game. Getting it done. Sefolosha with it. Now defended by McLemore. And that one's good. That's 12 points in the game for Kyle Korver.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Dime-dropping delights is what I call it.
That is a nice pass. I will give you that one.
Yep, he was on the money, that's no doubt. Now Schroeder, after D'Angelo Russell's three-pointer that didn't go. Picked by Horford. Pass to Millsap. Soft touch off the glass. Millsap's got 13 points here in the second half alone.
I can't believe defenders are not aware. They cannot allow him that position.
Yeah, you're right about that, Greg. He's put a no trespassing allowed on that spot of the floor. It's all his.
The drive by Russell. Out of bounds, Atlanta will take possession.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw a pass that far off the mark.
Atlanta calls timeout. They're trailing by 13. 1:14 left in the fourth. The Hawks trail by 13. Horford, he's open. Again, the Hawks good for 2.
And after his last game, really not surprised to see him as hot as he is here tonight. Guys, I think this is a game they have to feel good about as we wind through the final moments here in what looks to be a solid win for the Kings.
At every opportunity, they managed to push the ball and keep the up-tempo game going.
And that produced great fruit for him in transition.
And so that moves their record to 11 wins on the year.
And so they'll take the first game of the season series, a team they'll only see twice. They're certainly happy to start it off with a win.
And that next meeting, Greg, will be their second and final game of the season series, being in opposite conferences. So you bet nobody wants to get swept even in a 2-game season series. I think the next game will be hotly contested.
Just a quality win, and you look at the box score and some really good numbers for Randle. You look at the energy he brought on both ends of the floor, and it's easy to see why he was a difference maker. I think it's safe to say this baby's over.
Yeah, that's fairly obvious. I'd say that's a really good assumption on your part.
Well, that fast break went according to plan.
Yeah, nice job there, Greg. Recognizing the opportunity was there to push it, and then excellent execution.
Now Russell. So it's Sacramento picking up the win. They came in here and took care of business like they were the home team.
And Kevin, how about the mental toughness that this group showed? They were never
Yes.
rattled at all by the opposing